So Fabrizio Romano said this on the Here We Go podcast last week. He said, "Get ready, Arsenal fans. It's been a very, very busy summer already, and the best is yet to come because Arsenal want to do way more." And indeed, Arsenal have done a lot of work in this summer. In terms of incomings, I'm a little bit satisfied, but of course, the real work is not yet done. We don't have a centre forward yet, and we don't have a left winger right at the moment. So this week has been great. This week has been very good. Arsenal really behaving like a big club, just like Liverpool, just like Manchester City. But there is something that Liverpool and Man City have done. Getting the signings that matter. Florian Wirtz has been signed by Liverpool, and that is a very good signing. Of course, Manchester City signing Tijani Reinders, Brian Enory, and Ryan Sharkey. That means that Arsenal also have to go out there and do the signings that matter, and this could be happening this week. Arsenal could actually do announcements, which we expect really, but we could also advance on the deals that matter. So join me in this video as we discuss what should we expect from Arsenal in this incoming week. What's going to happen at the club? Are we going to see a big move for a centre forward? Are we going to see Rodrygo maybe progressing? What about Eberechi Eze? And then the Jora Hato deal, could it progress anytime sooner? Well, let's discuss what's going to happen in the next 7 days as we enter July. Now, one thing we know is Mikel Arteta has told Andrea Bata, if you can, get me my signings early in the window. I don't want to enter preseason and then I'm having a big surprise coming up. Unless there is a market opportunity, by July 19th, I can guarantee that Arsenal will be done with some of the major incomings. Now, the left winger position, that one could take some time as Arsenal have to wait for Rodrygo and also sort out the future of Gabriel Martinelli. With Jora Hato, that could also take some time as we have to sell Zinchenko, Kivio, and negotiate back and forth with Ajax on the asking price. But this week, there are deals that Arsenal can actually get out of the way. Deals that are already in the pipeline. We have done a lot of work on them, and maybe if we are serious, we can actually announce them. Let's start off with announcements. Now, obviously, the first announcement we expect to see is the Martin Zubimendi announcement. Now, I think Arsenal have been very, very clever about this. What they have done, they have refused to announce Kepa, they have refused to announce any other signings before Martin Zubimendi. And the reason for that is simple. Arsenal are targeting to announce Martin Zubimendi as the first signing of the summer. And this week we're going to see what would be a rampant line of announcements. But Martin Zubimendi should be announced as an Arsenal player. This was confirmed by BBC. This was confirmed by The Athletic and Sky Sports as well. And the only reason as to why he's not announced, basically, is because we are not in July. And next week, technically and realistically, unless the sun stops spinning for a second, that would be disaster anyway. But is it Earth that spins or the sun? Both of them spin, but it is Earth that actually rotates, right? So unless Earth stops rotating, Martin Zubimendi will be announced as a new Arsenal player in the first week of July. And I'm so happy that this is happening because it's going to allow us to do other deals. It's going to get all these other deals out of the way. Imagine just Martin Zubimendi is blocking the announcement of Kepa. So next week as well, we expect Kepa to be announced as an Arsenal player. Both of these players have done their medicals, they have passed their medicals, and they have signed their contracts. As far as we understand, Fabrizio and a few sources close to the club are saying that they have also done their media activities. They have taken photos, they have, done interviews and a few simple clips that we should be using to announce them online very, very soon. So Kepa and Zubimendi, that is the first you should be expecting next week, as announcements can actually come in without notice. But in the next 7 days, that should be happening. And then with Christian Nogat, we might not see an announcement for Christian Nogat, but we might also see it. So this is the agenda for Christian Nogat in this coming week. Number one, Christian Nogat is going to do his medicals at Arsenal. As far as I have told you and as far as I'm informed, he has the green light to do medicals, and his medicals were already prepared by Arsenal. So this week is when Christian Nogat flies in for his medicals, does his medicals. If he passes them, then he will do his media duties, sign his contract, and get announced as a new Arsenal signing. I won't be surprised for Christian Nogat to be announced as a new player this week, and I won't be surprised if not. I mean, it's gonna be quite busy, at the club. Zubimendi coming in and of course showing him around, and Arsenal might also want to allow the fans feel the signing of Martin Zubimendi. And it's been a little bit bored, right? The soup has been taken out of this signing. If it was announced in June, we would have been so excited to see Martin Zubimendi. But it has dragged on for quite a long time, and it has become literally boring, right? But they might want to announce Zubimendi and then take some time before announcing Kepa. Maybe they might announce Zubimendi on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then announce Kepa on a Thursday, or they might announce Kepa and Zubimendi on the same day. It's possible. You never know what's going to happen. But with Christian Nogat, I think after the first announcements, Arsenal will take maybe a day or two. So we might see the announcement of Christian Nogat on Friday or a Saturday. If that doesn't happen, then it could be announced next week. But medicals should be done. Contract signing should be done. And for me, as long as the player does his medicals and passes them and signs his contract, I am not bothered about the announcement. I mean, for all I know, a player can be registered, play for Arsenal or play for any club without having those Twitter and social media announcements, and I could care less. I really care about them, by the way. And then next week as well, or this week, why am I saying next week? This week, we are expecting Arsenal to finalize the agreement with Valencia on Cristiano Mosquera. Now, towards the end of last week, what we have seen is Arsenal agree personal terms with Mosquera and also try to do a couple of due diligence with Valencia. What's going to take, what are the structures, an initial bid, rejected, and all that. So next week is simple. We already know what Valencia want. We already know we can match Valencia's expectations. Just go and do the deal. So next week you should be hearing that here we go from Fabrizio Romano on Cristiano Mosquera. Many sources are saying that a second bid is very close to being sent in, and it is worth 20 to 25 million euros. Now, initially we were told that Arsenal wanted to do this deal below 20 million euros, right? So it might be a case of Arsenal signing him for 19 million euros, guaranteed, with a few add-ons to take the deal to 25 million euros. Fabrizio says that Valencia are not going to accept 17, 16, 18, 14. They don't want to sell their player for that amount of money. It's going to be 19 and above. And Arsenal know, yes, he's got 1 year left on his deal, but he's one of the players that are heavily just after the sale of Dean Huijsen and Ilya Zabanyi. It kind of feels like the centre-back market is dry a little bit. Of course, there is Mark Guehi, but Mark Guehi is an expensive, high-level vault signing. That's why Liverpool are going for him, because they think he either replaces Virgil van Dijk or he replaces Konate, one of them or both of them, who could actually leave the club in the next summer. So that should be done next week. Arsenal should be able to agree a deal with Valencia because we don't have that agreement now, and then the player should be given permission to do his medicals with Arsenal. Now, I won't be surprised if Christian Nogat does his medical in the same week with Christian Mosquera, because the reason for that is basically simple, right? If Arsenal get this deal done early, he can do his medicals by Friday and Saturday, and then next week we get the announcement. It is also possible for Christian Mosquera to actually arrive this week, do his medicals, and get announced as a new Arsenal player, because Mikel Arteta now wants to know which players am I going to work with in pre-season, which players am I going to work with come next season? Remember, we've got a few injuries already in the squad, right? We've got a few injuries in the squad. You've got Saliba, you've got Gabriel. By the time we get to August, they should be okay. August 15th, they should be okay. But in case they are not, right, Mikel wants to know if Saliba is not fully fit, who do I play? If Timber is not fully fit, who do I play? If Lewis Kelly maybe wasn't fully fit, who do I play in those positions? And that's why these deals should be cleared before the 10th of July, right? And of course, 19th is the ultimatum for Mikel Arteta to start working with his squad in pre-season. Now, after that, after Christian Mosquera, Mosquera, I cannot guarantee that we shall have an announcement. The same with Christian Nogat. But I know an agreement with Valencia will be reached on Christian Mosquera, and medicals for Christian Nogat done this week. Okay, then what about the striker situation? What are we expecting and what is acceptable from Arsenal? Because we have given them a lot of time on this one, and now as we get into July, they've got to deliver. Like if you're Andrea Barta, this is your time to shine. This is your time to deliver. And the first deal should be the Benjamin Sesko deal. Now, if Arsenal really believe that Benjamin Sesko is the one, right? Because we've been hearing so many stories, they're undecided. They have not yet decided. They've had a bloody 30 days of June to decide who they want. And I don't care if they want Gyokeres, I don't care if they want Sesko. Actually, I was watching my favorite creator, James Lawrence Alcott, and he was saying, Arsenal fans, come down. Both of these guys would massively elevate this Arsenal team to another level. And I was like, you're right. Why are we even stressing about this or that, this or that? These guys actually take us to the next level, right? So Benjamin Sesko, what Arsenal need to do this week is bid for Benjamin Sesko. If you have 50 million, put in a bid so that RB Leipzig understand what you're working with and what they are working with. It's as simple as that. So this week, that's when Arsenal should be able to bid for Benjamin Sesko. And I will be very, very disappointed if Arsenal don't bid for Benjamin Sesko, honestly, right? Because the price has gone down. There is nothing more we can use to excuse. We have done all the other deals. I mean, the excuse would be that Arsenal maybe are trying to work on the other deals. We have done the other deals. Let's go and do this centre forward deal. Let us bid. Now, there is also a possibility that maybe Arsenal want to see how much money they can get from sales, and maybe they might try to sell a few players this week before bidding for a centre forward. I don't care, but a bid for Benjamin Sesko with the price dropping, it should happen, because the price dropping means that Liverpool can now do it, Manchester United can now do it, Newcastle can now do it. All these other clubs that are looking at centre forwards, they can actually go and do this deal. And then for Victor Gyokeres, I don't know, right? Because with Victor Gyokeres, I am really convinced that Arsenal want to put their first priorities in the Benjamin Sesko basket. And if that is true, and that is the case, then I don't know what's going to happen with Victor Gyokeres. I think with Gyokeres, this is the week where we're going to know whether Arsenal are serious about him or not. It's as simple as that. If Arsenal bid and progress and advance in talks with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko, then 100% I'm certain the camp of Victor Gyokeres will have got their answer on Arsenal's position for their player. We like him, we appreciate him, but he was never our priority. We were just using him to put the price of Benjamin Sesko down. So with Gyokeres, I don't expect a lot. I'm not going to lie. With Zinchenko, now Zinchenko has been in talks with AC Milan for quite some time, but Arsenal have never really got a bid officially. And I don't expect that bid to come anytime soon. But I think talks between Zinchenko and AC Milan could escalate with the hope that Arsenal could actually get a bid anytime soon, right? Zinchenko might be the real sell Arsenal do first this summer before we move on to the likes of Fabio Vieira and the likes of Jakub Kiwior if you're going to sell them this summer. But most importantly, we should be able to get clarity on the Rodrygo case, because today the Athletic have put up a very, very interesting article, and they have said Arsenal are willing to wait, but not indefinitely for Rodrygo. They're not going to wait forever. It's not going to be the Gonzalo Higuain Benzema situation where Arsenal wait for one player, he disappoints, and then we touch our heads and say, oh my God, I wish we didn't, right? Arsenal are going to have an ultimatum. They'll have some kind of stop, right? We are willing to wait for you. We're willing to sign you, but this is where we stop. So this week, a lot of things could happen, but the guaranteed announcements for Zubimendi and Kepa, medicals for Christian Nogat, an agreement for Christian Mosquera, a bid for a striker, Benjamin Sesko or Victor Gyokeres, and clarity on the left wing situation. Remember, we're still early in the window. We are just getting midway. We have 2 months, that is 60 days, to see more deals that are happening at Arsenal. And Fabrizio said, Arsenal fans, get ready, right? It's been a very busy summer so far, and the best is yet to come. Arsenal want to do more than what they've done already.